Hi, everybody. We have started a new season in the church here. This is the season called Lent. And you know how we have different colors in the front of the church at different times of the year? The color for Lent is purple. And purple it reminds us that Jesus is royalty. So Jesus is a king or a prince, and purple's the color of royalty. Purple's also the color of suffering. So it reminds us that we have challenges in life, and it reminds us of Jesus' challenge and Jesus' suffering. So I should have been wearing purple today, but maybe sometime during Lent, maybe sometime this week, you can pull something purple out of your closet and wear purple because it's Lent. Now, Lent is a time when we focus on renewing our relationship with God and renewing our relationship with other people. So it's a time when we examine how we have been selfish. So we look at how we've been selfish or how we've just been thinking about ourselves. And then we try to turn our attention toward other people. So it's a good time to focus on love, on loving other people and really renewing our relationships with other people. Now, I don't know about you, but also I have been missing Word for Children. Have you been missing that? Being in the big comfy chairs outside of the sanctuary and listening to stories and coloring and asking questions? I've really been missing that. And so I pulled up 2 stories from Word for Children, one from the Bible, and then one of them is my favorite story. Well, one of my favorite stories. Those Darn Squirrels. So we're going to take a look at Those Darn Squirrels and then a story from the Bible, and I've got some questions for you.
Those Darn Squirrels. On the outskirts of town, at the edge of the forest, there was a little old house. The only thing older than the little house was the man who lived in it, Old Man Fookwire. Old Man Fookwire was so old that when he sneezed, dust came out. He was also a grump. He hated pie. He hated puppies. The only thing he liked was birds. All summer long, the old man painted pictures of the birds that visited his backyard. There were whirlybirds and bonga birds, baba birds and yaba birds. Even a rare flugel bird came by once or twice. Fookwire's paintings weren't very good, but the birds never said anything. When the air turned crisp and the leaves began to change color, the old man grew sad. He knew that soon the birds will fly south for the winter, as they did every year, and that he would be lonely. Then he had an idea. If he fed the birds, maybe they would stick around. So Old Man Fookwire built beautiful bird feeders and put them up all around his backyard. He filled the feeders with delicious seeds and berries, and soon birds came from all over the forest just to eat in the old man's yard. But the birds weren't the only ones who liked the bird feeders. The squirrels did too. Not many people knew this, but squirrels are the cleverest of all the woodland creatures. In fact, they're fuzzy little geniuses. They can make a house out of a tree, a bed out of a bunch of leaves, and a box kite out of twigs, dirt, and squirrel spit. They are also excellent at math. Winter was fast approaching, and the squirrels needed to gather as much food as they could to get ready, so they decided to take some of the bird food. The birds were not happy. Neither was Old Man Fookwire. When he discovered what has happened, he shook his old man fist and yelled, "Those darn squirrels!" He filled up the feeders again, but this time he hung them from a clothesline. Then he went back inside. confident that the squirrels would no longer be able to get the seeds and berries. But the squirrels were determined. They devised a plan, and this time they took all the food from the bird feeders. The birds were furious. "Harumph, harumph, harumph," yelled a bongo bird. "Those darn squirrels," yelled Old Man Fookwire. "Yum," said the squirrels. Now it was Old Man Fookwire's turn to devise a plan. He went to the general store to get supplies. He bought lasers and clamps. He bought wires and springs. He bought all sorts of tools and built a veritable fortress round his bird feeders. Then he refilled them very carefully. "Na, na, 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 na," snorted the flugel bird. The squirrels stayed up all night working out their strategy. They drank cherry cola and ate salt and vinegar chips to help them stay awake. Finally, they had it, the perfect plan. They put on their tiny helmets and prepared to launch themselves into the air, over the fence, between the lasers, and onto the bird feeders. The first squirrel misfired and hit a tree. The second squirrel went too high and landed in a bucket. The third squirrel sailed clear over the house. The birds laughed and laughed. They each had one last delicious mouthful of seeds and berries from the old man's feeders. Then they flew south for the winter, just as they did every year. "Tabizz," said the flugel bird. After the birds left, Old Man Fookwire was lonely, just as he was every year. He fixed himself some cottage cheese and pepper, his favorite snack, but he was still lonely. When he looked out the window, the squirrels could tell that he wasn't happy. "Go away," shouted the old man. "I don't like you squirrels." The squirrels held a meeting deep inside a large tree. They decided to give the old man a present to make up for taking the seeds and berries. Now, not many people know this, but squirrels are not only fuzzy little geniuses, they also collect just about anything they find on the ground. These squirrels had a vast stockpile of spectacular junk to choose from. But what would Fookwire like? Bottle caps? Popsicle sticks? Postage stamps? Finally, they had it. The perfect gift. The squirrels stacked all of their loose change on Old Man Fookwire's doorstep. There were dimes and pennies. There were nickels and quarters. There were even a few tokens from Coco's Arcade. It all added up to $47.36, plus a few rounds of skee-ball. "Maybe you squirrels aren't so bad," Fookwire said when he found the coins, "but I still like birds better." This gave the squirrels another idea. They raided their junk collection again and got to work. When Old Man Fookwire woke up the next morning, he was amazed to see that the birds had returned. But wait, those things weren't birds. They were squirrels in disguise. "Great googly moogly," said the Old Man Fookwire. "This will make quite a painting." He ran outside and took down the lasers and the wires and the spring-loaded trapeze. He turned all the bird feeders into squirrel feeders. Then he painted till his brush ran out of bristles. The squirrels were so overjoyed, they had a party in Old Man Fookwire's house. "Those darn squirrels," said Fookwire, and he shook his old man fist and smiled.
Why do you think Old Man Fookwire didn't like those squirrels? See, I think he really liked birds. That was what he liked naturally. And those squirrels were interfering with his relationship with the birds, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that they were eating all of the bird food and chasing the birds away. He really didn't like that. And so he did all sorts of silly things to try to keep the squirrels away from his bird feeders. That didn't really work, did it? Nope, because squirrels are pretty smart. The book tells us they can even do math. Well, I don't think that's true. I think that's just the book being funny. But those squirrels were really, really smart. So what happened that made Old Man Fookwire friends with the squirrels? What happened there? Did you happen to notice that it was the squirrels who started doing things for Old Man Fookwire? It wasn't the other way around. The squirrels started being nice to him. So he was being mean to the squirrels, but the squirrels started being nice to him, and that's what helped them become friends. So sometimes when people are being mean to us or things are hard for us, we have to be the ones to do something nice, and that's a really hard thing to do. But if we just focus on being nice all the time, then that's a way that friendship can develop no matter what other people are doing, and that's pretty cool. So one of the things we're working on in Lent is trying to make friends with everyone. We're trying to put aside the way that we feel, even though things sometimes hurt our feelings, and try to do a nice thing or a good thing all the time. So that's some good work to do in Lent to try to help our relationships develop and help our friendships develop. Okay, we're going to listen now to a story from the Bible called Love Your Enemies.
Love your enemies. Jesus taught people everywhere about God. Jesus' teachings were different from what people had heard before. This made people curious about what Jesus had to say. One day, Jesus was talking about how to treat your enemies. Jesus said, "If someone hurts you, don't hurt them back." Wow, that was different. Then Jesus said, "If someone asks for your help, say, 'Sure.'" People hadn't always thought like that before. "And remember to share what you have with other people," he said. Jesus had the people thinking. Then Jesus said a very important thing. Everyone says, "Love your friends and hate your enemies." I say, love your enemies and pray for people who are mean to you. This is what really makes God happy. The things Jesus said changed the way people thought about treating others.
How did Jesus say we should treat people? Well, Jesus said that we should be kind, that we should say nice things to people, we should share what we have and be generous, that we should think of other people the way that we think of ourselves. We should think of other people first and try to and even create ways to be kind to people and to be nice to people. And why do you think Jesus said we should do that? Well, I want you to imagine that everyone in the world was doing that. Imagine that everyone in the world was being kind and being nice and sharing what they have. If everybody shared what they have and everybody was nice and everybody was kind, we would have a really great world, wouldn't we? We wouldn't have any fighting. We wouldn't have any more fighting. We wouldn't have any wars. We wouldn't have any bullies. Well, Jesus said that we should do those things because a change in the world can start with us. Kindness can spread, and love can spread, and joy can spread, and generosity could spread. And so we want to have our lives be a place where Jesus teaches us how to be as an example for the world so that that can spread in our homes and in our neighborhoods and in our schools and all over the world. That would be really great, wouldn't it, if we were part of that love and that kindness that Jesus wanted to have all over the world. So what did people do when Jesus taught them like that? Do you remember in the story? That really got the people thinking. Yeah, so maybe that will get us thinking too. That will get us thinking of ways that we can be kind. That would be really great. Well, I've asked Pastor Phil to sing the milk song because the milk song is about loving the Lord our God with all of our heart, all of our mind, all of our soul, all of our strength. And then it's sort of about what happens in the world when we do that, that we live our lives in a way that expresses that love, not only for God, but for other people. So here's Pastor Phil.
We're going to sing the milk song. The words are, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as your, well, actually, I don't know the words without singing it. So I guess we'll just sing it a couple of times too. Here we go. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and all your soul, and all your mind, and love all humankind as you have loved yourselves, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all humankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus love to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all abide. Let's just try that part again. Here we go. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and all your soul, and all your mind, and love all humankind as you have loved yourselves, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all humankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus love to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all abide. Now this next part is fun. It's called milk. Drink that milk, glug, 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 glug. Read that word, read, to get stronger. Mr. Postman gave to me, sha-la-la, copy of the NIV, sha-la-la. Read the Bible to get stronger. I don't want to wait any longer. So while I'm singing, you do those motions. Milk, read, stronger, and then you'll get the rest. Here we go. Milk, drink that milk, glug, 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 glug. Read that word, read, to get stronger. Mr. Postman gave to me, sha-la-la, copy of the NIV, sha-la-la. Read the Bible to get stronger. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's try that part again. Milk, drink that milk, glug, 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 glug. Read that word, read, to get stronger. Mr. Postman gave to me, sha-la-la, copy of the NIV, sha-la-la. Read the Bible to get stronger. I don't want to wait any longer. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and all your soul, and all your mind, and love all humankind as you have loved yourselves, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all humankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus love to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in God we all abide. Milk, drink that milk, look, 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 look. Read that word, read, to get stronger. Mr. Postman gave to me, sha-la-la, copy of the NIV, sha-la-la. Read the Bible to get stronger. I don't want to wait any longer. Love.
Well, let's close out with a Pete repeat prayer. So I'll say a line and you can say that line after me. So let us pray. God, help us to treat other people well. Help us to see that anyone can be our friend. Teach us to pray for one another, for other people, for the whole world, and to make friends. Bless this time of Lent. Amen. Okay, see you next time.